Hi, guys, and welcome to the Horror Room. So, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the next Stephen King movie, The Long Walk, but I'd never heard of it, so I said, hey, you know what? Let's give it a read. Well, technically, a listen because I got the audiobook, and I've been listening to that for the past week or so. Now, at the time of the recording, I am still not quite through it, but I'm sure once this video's up, I'll have finally finished it. But needless to say, I'm excited. I actually do want to see this movie. I might go see it in theaters, actually, because the last Stephen King adaptation I went and saw was The Monkey, which is based off a short story. This is more of a full length book, I think. The Long Walk could be. And then, as you know, The Black Phone is like I believe his son wrote it in a collection of short stories. I have that book, and there's some more stories in that I wouldn't mind seeing adapted, but that's his son's work. We're here to talk about Stephen King, probably arguably one of the most beloved writers of all time. Granted, some of his stuff's a little questionable. Even in that Long Walk book, I'm not going to spoil it, but I could already tell there's a lot of things they're going to cut out from the movie. Um, but yeah, needless to say, a lot of Stephen King's work has been adapted into film, and he does more than just horror, but that's what we're going to focus on today. We're only going to focus on the movies I own. I'm going to give you my honest opinions on them. And spoilers, I don't own it. I don't own the original miniseries, and I don't own the new remakes. I don't have any interest in them. I thought the original was fine for what it was. Tim Curry, iconic. I did watch the newer ones, and it kind of built up a little bit. The first one, I was like, hey, this isn't too bad. It's got a little bit of a Stranger Things vibe, but obviously it came first, literally. Um, but then the second movie came out, and I did not like the way that movie went. I don't like how either one of them ends, but I guess it's better than, a cosmic turtle or whatever, but I digress. So let's talk about the movies. First, we're going to talk about my DVDs because I don't have many, and we're not going to repeat movies if I have them on both formats. I thought I would show the original VHS for those because I think that's a little more interesting. First off, I got this not too long ago, and it's one that I have not seen, but I do know the basic premise. Is he basically pisses off a gypsy. Yeah, so, something. Um, Thinner. I haven't seen this, but the premise sounds really cool, and I've always wanted to watch it. I don't know why I haven't. Maybe I need to give this a watch soon. Maybe have a little Stephen King marathon. There we go. So yeah, I grabbed this one because I know this one's a classic. It also reminds me, there's another movie I don't own of his that I really want to get. It's either called Night Shift or Night Flyer. There's like a vampire bat. It's really cool though. It's not great, or maybe it's Graveyard Shift. I don't know. He has a lot of like weird graveyard themed stuff. That's another movie I don't own. I do not own Pet Cemetery. I know that's a classic to some people. I can't say that I don't want it. I just, for whatever reason, I don't have it. So I guess I should get my hands on that, the original, of course, and check that one out. Here's one that is very divisive, but I love it, and that's Maximum Overdrive. You got the big Green Goblin truck. It's probably the most iconic. And then the lady running out, "We made you!" And she starts trying to shoot, and oh, or no, like she's pleading with it, and they shoot her because there's like military vehicles. It's basically like machines go haywire and start killing everybody, and it's really cool. I like that idea. I like that movie. It's one of my favorites. It's really goofy, but it's a lot of fun. This one I listened to the audiobook over the summer. Oh, it's great either way, whether you're reading it or listening, or reading it, listening to it, or watching it. And that's Misery. Ooh, very good movie, very good stuff. The book has some extra stuff in it that the movie did not, which I could see why they didn't do it. Really didn't need it, honestly. It's more gratuitous. Um, but regardless, great film. If you've never seen Misery, I'd recommend checking it out. So now we're going to get to the VHS. These are more classic stuff. And there's like some that I'm going to have some controversial opinions about, but we'll get there. First off, we have Carrie. This movie and the remake. I like the remake. Don't hate. I think is fantastic. It's your typical girl that's getting bullied. Then she finds out that I need to leave that on there. She finds out that she's going through fucking becoming a woman. That's the easiest way to put it. And her mom's like this religious nut, and she finally gets asked out, and it turns out it's like a giant prank. And of course, that unlocks her psychic abilities, and she goes nuts. And it's a great, great movie. The remake, I would say, is a little more toned down. This one, though, is very jarring, very haunting. Next, we have Stephen King's Cat's Eye. This movie's a lot of fun. It's got the whole, like, things that go bump in the night. You got, like, a small creature coming out of the wall, and he's trying to, like, suck the soul out of this little girl. There's other stories in here. It's basically an anthology. But that's the one that sticks out the most to me, is with the little troll. And there's like a cat that's trying to help the little girl, and the little girl is played by a young Drew Barrymore, which you can see on the back with her and her cat. It's a great movie, and I think this came out before Firestarter, maybe around the same time. I don't have Firestarter. That's one I just never really was interested in. This one, though, wow. Let me say, I was not expecting to love this movie like I did, but when I watched it, I was like, okay, this movie's cooking. With the soundtrack by John Carpenter, how could you not love it? And that's Christine, Show Me. The special effects in this movie, which are, pretty subtle, but they're just so good. Like, the car is damaged, and the car repairs itself. And I know, you're like, oh, well, they reversed the footage. But you're like, but how did they do it? It's awesome. I'm sure there's behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm probably hyping it up way too much. But, and, it's a classic. It's one of those, red and black spines. Woo! RCA. It basically gives off a Grease as a horror movie vibe. But I like it. I like it a lot. And I actually like these movies a lot. And if you don't, you're crazy. First, we have Creepshow. The first one. Now, this is more of a collaborative effort, between George Romero and Stephen King. But hey, nobody's complaining. That's two of the best horror creators of all time right there. And the original Creepshow, it varies in its stories. I'd say the most famous one is the one with the creature in the crates. But you could also argue that the father, like, give me my cake, like, that's a pretty iconic one too. I didn't grow up a lot on Creepshow 1, but I did grow up a lot on Creepshow 2. Now, this one gets a lot of hate, but I gotta say, this one is a whole lot of fun. There's not as many stories, so these stories have a little more room to breathe. You have the Chief Woodenhead coming back and getting revenge. You have the lake with, like, the sludge that's, like, pulling people under and killing them. And then you have the most terrifying one, because it could happen, not to the extent the movie does, but the hitchhiker. Thanks for the ride, lady. That's great. I love Creepshow 2. Don't ever watch Creepshow 3. Don't. Bad. Then we have another classic. We have Cujo. Now, out of all these movies, this one could actually happen. A rabid dog. And the size of this dog is absolutely terrifying. Now, can a dog get that big? I've seen a big-ass dog, and that was my first thought. I was like, holy shit. And they had to have it in a cage when I was over, because this thing was, like, eyeballing me. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. But this movie is pure, raw terror. Like, you can feel them being trapped in that car. You can feel the heat. You can feel that dog's hot breath anytime it's near them. Oh, it's good. Next, now this is one I got last year at the VHS convention I went to. I'm planning on going again this year. I haven't watched it. I need to because it is written for the screen and directed by George Romero, but based off a Stephen King story. And that is The Dark Half. And this is actually a book that Stephen King has said is basically an analogy or whatever the word is I'm looking for. I can't fucking think of it. Um, his other pen name, aside from Stephen King, I cannot remember it. I literally have been hearing it because I've been listening to that, The Long Walk, and he used it for that book as well. Um, I'm pretty sure he used it for this, and it's kind of like basically his telling of like killing off this other personality he has, the one who writes these darker books, this dark half of him. And I've listened to a review of this movie. It sounds phenomenal. It's a George Romero movie based off Stephen King. I'm like, okay, sign me up. Because Creepshow, boom, they knocked it out of the park. And last but not least, you probably saw this coming, is another divisive one, at least in Stanley Kubrick's eyes. Uh, oh wait, no, not in Stanley, in Stephen King's eyes, because Stanley Kubrick's the one that made it. And that's, of course, The Shining. Now, this movie has basically become, I would say, right on the same level as it in terms of being as famous as it is. Uh, of course, you have Jack Nicholson's performance. You have Shelley Duvall. You have the little kid, Red Rum. You have the little twins. You have the blood in the elevator. Everything from the pattern on the floors to the really weird scene with the bear and the man. It's like, okay, movie, you do you. Um, what can you say? I mean, Stephen King, I don't know why he has a problem with this. Maybe I need to check out the book because honestly, I have not read a lot of Stephen King books. I've listened to a few of them that I've been interested in, and I think Thinner is on my list. I want to listen to that before I watch the movie so I can compare them. But Stephen King books are very, very, very long. Oh my gosh. Like, we're not even talking about his drama books like The Green Mile or The Stand. They're enormous books. So, of course, if you have the option to watch an hour and a half to 2 hour Stephen King movie and get the gist of the story, you ain't gonna complain. Uh, just like with, nobody's complaining that the movie's left out the really awkward child stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, so yeah, there you have it. Lots of cool Stephen King movies. Let me know, what's your favorite Stephen King movie? It doesn't even have to be one I mentioned. It could be Dreamcatcher. Let's be honest, it's not going to be Dreamcatcher. It could be The Mist. I didn't like that movie at first, but honestly, I love the ending. I think the ending's really messed up and funny. Maybe that's one that I need to revisit, need to buy again. Um, but honestly, there's so many Stephen King movies, so many books that you could base Stephen King movies off of. So I'm really excited to see what else is out there. And there's ones that I've heard about and haven't checked out, like The Dark Tower, Doctor Sleep, 1408, I think is one of them. I do believe. But yeah, so let me know down below. What's your favorite Stephen King movie adaptation or book? I mean, I need recommendations. I like listening to my audiobooks. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned next week for a new video.